just wanted to record some of my thoughts about feelings during this time where the globe is all aware, if not focused to the same degree, on COVID-19 and the secondary experience of being quarantined or shelter at home, which not everyone is doing, but the majority are understanding that it has its value to quote unquote flatten the curve. Someone mentioned to me, I think it was on Facebook, that everyone's having these feelings and not sure what they are, and that it probably is grief or a stage of grief. And I really think that that's an okay lens to look through. What you probably know about the stages of grief is from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and we know that they're not linear, but what she described was denial, anger, bargaining. This can't be true. If I'm good, maybe it won't be true. That kind of bargaining. Of course, sadness, feeling numb, and acceptance. I may not have gotten the exact wording that she uses, and maybe duplicated one, but and sorry for the glare on my glasses. I'm working on that. So I, as a therapist, have been asking clients if they're anxious, and anxiety or feeling anxious is a word that if you experience anxiety, you have a relationship with that word. If you don't typically, then the word is kind of vague, or if you know someone else that uses the word, you may be like, why do they have that feeling? What does that feeling mean? For me, I feel like it's really tied currently to uncertainty. Everything that we thought we knew or thought we were expecting or thought we could count on, maybe not everything, but a large part of what we thought life was has been picked up, shook around, and dumped down in a different form that's now not even on ground. A word that comes to me is groundlessness, that we don't feel like there's something we can count on to walk on or stand on or be supported by. And I had someone else mention to me that we never have that we have an illusion of ground, that an illusion of permanence, and that if we think about Buddhist concepts of impermanence, that we should live every day as if it's our last, or as if this is all that is, because this is all that is, that this moment, this present moment, even though now it's a new present moment, this is where we live, and we want to escape it. While I'm sharing cliches and so on, I'll share another one, that they say that anxiety is, looking into the future and feeling resistant, that we want to control it, which we have things that we control and things that we don't, and tolerating the things that we don't control. And that list of things that we perceive to not be in control is larger. And of course, depression is when we're looking backwards and regretting something, or feeling that we wished it had gone a different way, or missing something. Another Buddhist concept is the attachment and aversion concept, that depression can be we lost something. I lost my cat of 18 years a week ago, and miss her all the time. If I stay fixed on that and in resistance to that and wishing that I had done something different, I suffer more than more depression, more numb, more stuck, than if I think she had a good life, she lived 18 years, I loved her every day. Except for I'll tell a brief story, that there was a time when she was lost, and I thought I lost her forever, and I put up posters And she was actually gone for 19 days. And someone found her and called me, and it got her back. So even within my life with Coco, there was some level of impermanence and reminder that when we invest love in an animal or a person, there's no guarantee that we'll be together forever. That love means one day losing something, whether it's you losing the animal or the loved one or them losing you. And are we being like pushed in the face to consider that right now? You know, that I think some of us want to be in a place of before it hits us that no one we love will be harmed, that this will be, sort of a concept of something that we can watch the numbers and think about the people that are dying in New York or in Florida, and if we don't live there, then we can buffer ourselves. But I have to say, my anxiety is in part about knowing that within the next month, it will be in my circle. Someone I know or someone I know's family member will either be very ill and survive it, or will unfortunately be ill and pass from it. And I've mentioned in another vlog that what really bothers me is that people are dying without their loved ones, and that so we have to remember that the first responders, the frontline workers, the healthcare workers, they're our proxy loved ones. They will, to the best of their ability, and they're probably in shock, or in their like I can deal with a crisis place, but they'll be the ones to hold their hands or to say goodbye to them for us. So I mean, it's like a premonition or a fuzzy dream that hasn't hit us yet. It's a sneaker wave, the tsunami. Um, I'm bracing myself for not knowing what that's going to feel like, but anticipating it is the form of anxiety that I'm experiencing. The other thing that I feel guilty about experiencing, and I've had a few people talk about, is um, what's working in this experience for me. So in a previous life, a few years ago, I did a lot of Zoom. I did a lot of recordings. I was, developing some content on this site. When I look at it, I know that the quality is poor, but my heart was in it. And so I feel like I'm being given a part of my life and myself back that I really feel comfortable with and value, and feel creative within. I try to justify it a little bit by, the content that I want to provide is to be of service. And I guess I'm grateful to have something to focus on in a job that allows me to um, hold the fantasy, or in sometimes the reality, that I can be of service. But the truth is, I'm also trying to maintain a job. I don't have sick time. I don't have paid time off. I'm percentage. Essentially, it's like being contract. That each appointment that I keep is part of having a paycheck down the line. My paycheck is going to be probably in half. The blessing and the gratitude is that my husband, who has been quite sick with sarcoidosis and some related concerns, we feel like there's some stuff that's still not diagnosed, but that he's on disability, and that because he paid quite a bit into disability, he gets a good amount of disability. And I feel fortunate that I think there's some classism that happens, and just frankly some like quota, luck of the draw about whether you get disability. But we are blessed to get that disability, and so and we don't have a lot of savings. We both grew up in a situation where we didn't learn to deal with finances very well, and then we're both in our second marriage, and our first marriages, coincidentally, were two people with quite a bit more life experience in other words, older than us, who both dealt with the money. My first husband was a bookkeeper. So we this is a wake up call to deal with finances, to correct priorities, for me to look at impulse spending that has no meaning, that or has different meaning now. Anyway, I'm about to do in a couple minutes, 20, a Zoom get together with some other staff that are school based, and I have no idea what their experiences, but I want to find out like how they're dealing with the adjustment to all this, and you know, um, I feel like I'm up to the challenge. I feel creative. I feel like I'm coming up with ideas. I'm going to do this, and I want to share that enthusiasm with anybody who feels like, this is too much, because it is too much. I feel that too, but you know, let's see if together we can do the